Welcome to Pack Prep. My name is Christina Fred. I am one of the veterinary assistants here at DFL's Shelter Veterinary Services Department. We are going to go over a couple different packs that you'll be wrapping, which is the spay-neuter pack, the small dental pack, and our feline neuter pack. So to get started, there's a couple different wraps that you need to understand the different sizes. There's 3 different sizes. So we have our feline neuter one, which a good way to remember this is it doesn't cover much of anything, so nothing covers feline neuter. So it's a little bit smaller drape. This guy is a 20 by 20. The next size we have for the wrap is the largest gown size, which of course that is a very big size in comparison to yourself. So large goes for the large dentals, the gowns, and any orthopedic wrap packs that we will do here. The next size that you'll commonly use is called the 24 by 24 wrap. So this guy is usually used for spay neuters, small dentals, and any other of the smaller packs that we'll use. So you'll use these guys a lot. There's 8 different tools in the spay neuter packs that we use. And we have the spay hook. As you can see here, it has a handle, it has a hook, so that's our spay hook. That's one of your tools for the spay neuter pack. We have the thumb forceps, which you can see here, it looks like a pair of tweezers. That's a good way to remember. Thumb forceps are tweezers. We have the car malt. A good way to remember these guys is cars race on tracks, and these guys look like little race tracks. So you'll be using one of those in your spay neuter packs. We also have what's called the Kellys. So these guys are a little bit smaller version of the car malts, as you can see in comparison here. The 2 different sizes. The only thing about Kellys is they have lines that only go halfway down to the hinge. So to make sure you have the right ones, Kellys don't go all the way. Next we have in our spay neuter pack is the needle drivers. These guys are pretty important too. They have the clamps where the needle goes and is held by the instruments here, the little pads here, and they also have little scissors there, so that's how you know these guys are your needle drivers. Next up we have the Metzenbaum scissors. So the Metzenbaum scissors are just a pair of scissors, but just make sure that their blades aren't super thick. Occasionally you'll see scissors that have a little bit thicker blades. We want to make sure we got the nice thinner blades. Those are your Metzenbaums. We also in the spay neuter pack have 2 sets of hemostats. So these mosquito hemostats are a little bit smaller as well. One is curved and one is straight. So you just want to make sure you have those guys. And in comparison, again, to the car malt, which is your biggest one, and your Kelly, they're the smallest ones. So that's what you need for a spay neuter pack. So let's wrap it. So what we got to make sure we have the right drape as well. So there's 2 different drapes that you'll see underneath our cupboard here with our pack prep. We have the spay neuter drape, which is this guy, and a good way to indicate that you have the right one, I use my finger here. This is about 1 inch, so you can measure the whole section. So that's about 1-2 inches there. So you want to make sure you have at least 2-inch hole there. When it's folded in half, it equates to 4 inches when it's fully out. So we'll grab that guy. The one that you can get it confused with a lot is our big girl drape. So this guy is a 40 by 7. The hole here is 7 inches. Right now it's folded in half, so it's about 3.5 inches. So you can see there's a big difference between those 2. Make sure you grab the smaller one. So we'll take our wonderful spay neuter drape, which is a 40 by 4, and we're going to put it on our 2 24 by 24 wraps that I showed you earlier. So they're about the size of a shirt, so make sure you have shirt, spay neuter pack. So get those out of the way for you. So we're going to just kind of make it as straight as possible here. Make sure you have your 2 layers so you know that there's 2 layers going in the wrap. Put it kind of in the middle, but not too close to the top here. And we're going to grab our tools real quick. So we're going to grab our spay hook and our thumb forceps. Put them on our pack. Kind of put them in the middle so you have your 2 sides divided for your other tools. Then we're going to grab our Kellys, our car malts, and our needle drivers. Put those guys together. Biggest on the bottom, smallest on the top. We're going to put those on one side. It doesn't matter which side, just put it on one side so it balances. And then we're going to grab our Metzenbaum scissors and our 2 mosquitoes. So make sure you have a straight mosquito and a curved mosquito. Kind of stack those guys on top of each other too. Again, biggest, smallest on the top. Put those on there. So we have 8 tools total. So in order to make sure we have enough gauze, we have to make sure we have 8 gauze for the 8 tools. So we're going to make sure we have the clean gauze that comes in packages like this. We also have gauze over here that we get back from the surgery area. Don't use these guys in the spay neuter packs or the feline neuter packs. We'll use these for dentals. So just simply grab a nice stack of gauze. Count 8. I usually do 2 piles of 4. As you can see there's your 2 piles of 4. I'll lay them on top there. And then what we need on top of that is this OK strip. So when this goes into the autoclave, this is an indicator for us to know if it got sterilized properly. So as you can see here, there's a white arrow and an K at the end that is painted in white. When the steam hits the strip, it turns it black. So we know that the steam and the sterilization process was done properly throughout the pack. So we'll put that on top. All right, so now that we have everything in our wrap, it's time to wrap it. So we're going to grab the bottom part of our wrap here, throw it on top, and then, as you can see here, we have a triangle. So we're going to take that top of the triangle, we're going to accordion fold it over the top of our pack, like that. Grab the bottom of the pack where your wrap meets your drape down here. Grab the top of your wrap, gently pull. Don't pull too much, we don't want to hear any clicking. If you hear clicking, you clamped your instruments and we need to redo it. Next, we're going to do our sides. So we have to make sure we tuck it, make a nice triangle, make it nice and tight, fold it over, and we're going to accordion this back. So it's going to be like that. We're making an envelope is the main goal here. We're going to do the same on this side. We're going to tuck it in a little bit, make that nice triangle, fold it over, make it nice and straight, and again we're going to put that flap in. Last piece we're going to do is tuck this in to make that nice triangle again, pull it tight, pull it forward, and tuck it. So this is what we're going to do. Just put your fingers in, tuck it in, and there it is like that. That's your first wrap. So we got to do this again. I'll do it a little bit faster so it's not so time consuming for you. So again, just make sure it's not totally forward, not totally back. We want it kind of in the middle. Grab your bottom flap, go forward. We're going to accordion it. Pull it. Make your 2 triangle pieces on the side there. Fold it over. Make your flap. Fold it over. Make your flap like that. Make it pretty and make that envelope so we have the tongue sticking out. Like so. And there it is. So now the last thing we got to do with this is actually label it. So we'll make a piece of tape, not too long. It's about that long. And we're going to make friendship tabs. So just tuck in your ends. So we make this beautiful tab like that. That makes it easier for the veterinarians to pull it off and not leave any residue behind. So we're going to do that real quick. And then we're going to label this. So this is a spay neuter pack. So we're going to do S/N. Today's date, and of course, the very end, your initials. And there you are. You have wrapped a spay neuter pack. Now moving on. We also have to wrap a feline neuter pack. And that takes also 2 drapes. So we want to make sure we got the right size here. So again, we're going to use the ones that barely cover anything, so nothing covers this guy. Grab 2 of those guys. These are the 20 by 20 wraps again. And this one also needs a wrap, or drape, my apologies. And this guy is a 30 by 30 by 7. The hole is 7 inches, so we do want the bigger one on this guy. It does get easily confused with a puppy neuter drape, which is this guy. Again, his hole is a little bit smaller. He's only 2 inches, so we don't want him. So grab your bigger guy. Put them in the middle. The feline neuter pack consists of 10 tools, and they are all about the same. And it makes it easier because we actually put a red band on these guys to make it easier for you to identify. So you should have a total of 10 curved hemostats. Again, these are these little guys that look like the car mults, but they are vertical lines instead. Make sure you have 10 of these, and it's easy again with the red band to identify. I stack them in 2 sets of 5. So 3, 4, there's 5 right there. So stack of 5, we're going to put them on over here. Again, we're going to make that diagonal from one corner to the other so they balance properly. Grab your other set of 5. Like that, and we're going to put them on the other side. So, as so. And this, again, we're going to use the gauze from the clean gauze. So grab 10. Since we have 10 instruments, we need 10 gauze. So again, I stack them in 2 sets of 5. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like so, like this. And we're going to put them over here and to grab our sterile strip. So the sterile strip is very important, again, just to make sure that the pack is fully sterilized. Put it on top like that. So we're going to fold it just like the spay neuter pack. It's just a little bit less material to work with. So we'll just make sure we go over it like so, accordion it. Grab the bottom of it here, pull back, make sure you don't hear any clamping. Again, if you do, that's okay. Just unwrap it, unclamp the instruments, try again. We're going to make that nice triangle over here, fold it over, make that little flap, triangle again, fold it over, make that little flap, and we're going to make our envelope finished here. So make that tongue, pull it, make sure it's tight, pull it forward, and we're going to tuck it. So again, use your 2 fingers, push in, and use your thumbs to finish tucking it in. There you go, there's your first wrap. So we gotta do it again. We'll go a little bit faster again. So fold it over, fold it back, accordion, pull it, make your triangles on the sides, pull it over, flap, triangle, pull it over, flap, make your final tucks. Make that pretty triangle again, pull it tight, pull it forward, and we're going to tuck that in. So that guy does have a little bit of tape on, so just make sure we take that old tape off, and let's label that guy. So this guy, again, like the spay neuter pack, we're going to do those friendship tabs on your tape. So make sure you just fold it over so it's on the sticky side. Fold it over on both sides so you have 2 friendship tabs by the time you're done. Put it on the front of the pack so you are covering that where your incision is for your flap and your tucking. And we're going to label it F/N and then the date. So that's for feline neuter, and the date is going to be sterilized, and of course your initials at the end. All right, put that to the side. You have wrapped a feline neuter pack. Okay, last but not least, we're going to do a small dental pack. This again is also used very commonly here in the surgical area. So what we're going to do for this guy, they actually go in a tray, so it's a little bit different. We want to make sure there is a blue towel at the bottom of it. So make sure you fold it so it fits in the bottom. It's okay if it has a little bit of edging in it, that's perfectly okay. So we just want to make sure we have the tools we need for that guy. So what you're going to do, we have 5 different elevators for this small dental pack. It goes from 1 through 5. They are also labeled as wings. You can kind of see, if you can see it. They're labeled there on the wing. It's called wing 2 and wing 5 are labeled. Wing 1 is not labeled, it's just the very long skinny guy. So you want to make sure you have all your wings. We're going to put those in first. So we're going to put it in like this. 1, 2, here's wing 3, wing 4, and wing 5. There's those guys. Next, I put in the thumb forceps. Again, these guys are easy to identify because they have the blue band on them. If they don't have the blue band, don't put them in this pack. We also have these 3 guys, so there's different little levels for these guys. It helps to extract the roots a little bit more. So you gotta make sure you have a small pokey guy, and there's a little bit larger scoop guy, and then there's this little small guy with the little rounded heads. Make sure you have those 3. Put those in there. And we also have the little picker that we use as well. All right, and on to the bigger tools. So again, we have a pair of scissors. Just make sure you have the nice triangle tipped scissors. We'll put those guys in. We have a set of needle drivers. So there's those guys again. We have the where the needle is held, where it is cut. Put those guys in. We have root extractors. So these are the big guys that we always need in these packs. Put those guys in, like so. And then we have these little guys as well. They're like little pliers, so we gotta make sure we have pliers in there too. Those go in. So it kind of looks like that by the time you're done. And also, the one thing that's always commonly forgotten, it's okay if you forget, we have these little drill bit pieces. So those guys also go in this little T container here. And we'll just put those in like that, close it up. And there you are. We'll just kind of tuck that in anywhere that you can fit it. So a lot of times it ends up in the middle just because it helps with the balance of the pack. Otherwise, fit it where you can. So this guy, we can use the dirty gauze is what we call it. It comes back from surgery. There's nothing wrong with it. We just use it because it saves us on the clean gauze for the other packs that need the higher priority. So we're going to count 20 gauze out for this guy because what happens is we'll sterilize it once. They'll use it for multiple dentals throughout the day until they get super dirty. So we're going to count those out. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, I do 2 sets of 10 just to make the pack easy and easier to wrap. Makes it more balanced. So there's a set of 10 there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10. There's that. And again, we need that OK strip so we know that it's got sterilized properly. And this is one of the only packs that get wrapped once. So we don't have to wrap it twice like we did on the spay neuter and the feline neuter. So this guy, I'm going to use the bigger wrap just because it's easier with the tray. So again, larger is for like trays, the larger dental packs, the orthopedic packs, and of course the gowns. So we're going to, again, kind of center it a little bit closer to the back, fold it over forward, make your accordion. And then we're going to, instead of grabbing the bottom of your drape that we've been doing earlier, we're going to grab the bottom of the tray, push it back, make it tight. So this one's a little bit nicer too because you don't have to worry about anything clamping because it's in that tray. We're going to make that nice little corner piece there, fold it over, make your tuck. So this one's a little bit longer, so we're going to just do a couple double tucks and make it nice and clean there. Do your other side, fold it, tuck it, pull it over. And then again, make your tongue, make it tight, pull it over, make it tight. And we're going to tuck that part in. Just like that. So you should end up with something like this. Now we're going to label this and this will be done. So for this guy, again, do your friendship tabs. Like so. And then we're going to put it on there so it just secures that wrap together. We're going to label it small dental. So small dental. The date, which is 10/18 today. And of course your initials again. Most of the time your initials are going to be your first initial, your middle initial, and your last initial. So just make sure you put those on the pack every time. Make sure it's the same. Just so we know who you are and who wrapped these wonderful packs, okay? All right. So last but not least, the puppy neuter pack is a little different. We don't actually wrap these guys in the wraps like we have been doing, but you'll be taking a single curved mosquito. Make sure it doesn't have that band on it because those are feline neuters usually. We're going to put that on there with 3 clean gauze. Make sure we get the 3 clean gauze. So just like that, 3 clean gauze. Put it in like this. And these guys actually don't get a sterilizing strip because they go into a pouch that has a sterilizing indicator already on them. So I'll show you those real quick. They are located in this bottom drawer. Of course, they might move over time. But you just want to make sure you get one big enough to put the wrap in. So again, here's this guy. These are the indicators that are built in. These guys will turn kind of a black color again to indicate that they were sterilized properly. So for these guys, just make sure you put them in. When you line this up, it is important to make sure that you put the opening of the drape here where that cut is usually made. Put your gauze there. Make sure the tip of your hemostats go on top of that like that, so that when they grab it, they're not touching this sterile field here. So we got to make sure we put it in the sterile pack the same way. So just slide it in like that. And when they open it, you can see here there's a little flap. This is where they will open it. So we want to make sure that they grab, not the sterile field. So there's a little tape here. Just pull that little tape piece off, fold it over, and seal it just like that. And again, we're going to label this P/N for puppy neuter, the date, and your initials. And again, once you're done, just put it on top of the autoclave. A veterinary assistant will load it for you.